respond to all that. I guess I really had a good time. I guess I'd much rather start off with the weather since other people are talking about it. Yeah, I can remember living in suburban Chicago for almost 6 years, and I moved to the Twin Cities 12 years ago, in February 2004. And I know when I was telling one of my neighbors where I was moving to, they said, Minnesota, it's cold up there. And it never gets cold in Chicago, come on. Anybody who's ever watched a Bears football game late in the season hears about how cold it is on Lakefront and Soldier Field. That's why they use the term bear weather. And I'm a lifelong Midwesterner. I grew up in Iowa. I know what it's like to have sub-zero weather there too. I remember one time in college, over 20 years ago, it was minus 20 there. I didn't think it would get that cold and that far south, but it did. Oh yeah, old enough to remember certain things. Garrett spoke about remembering Sugar Ray. He must have meant the musician.
Yes.
Well, I'm old enough to remember Sugar Ray Leonard, the boxer. And I know he wasn't even the first Sugar Ray. There was a Sugar Ray Robinson before him. And I even saw the Ray Charles movie called Ray, where Jamie Foxx played him, and they explained why Ray Charles went by that stage name because they wanted to avoid confusion with Sugar Ray Robinson. Made perfect sense to me. I don't know if we call that in terms of what type of contest it is, in terms of what I'd be legally allowed to say here, but we all have imaginations on that one as to what terms those would be. There we go. I have done answer jokes before. It's just like answer songs are popular in music too. I mean, there were some Neil Young songs like Southern Man that were answered by Sweet Home Alabama by Leonard Skinner. Well, I like doing answer jokes when I'm a history major and I'm quite knowledgeable about the subject, and I like when people get the facts right. If they don't get it right, then I will. I know that last week somebody wanted to do a joke saying, I don't know why Martin Luther King is known as Junior with his holiday coming up, and in fact that's the day we're on now. Well, my dad is a junior. People have that name because they have the same name as their dad. I mean, there are a lot of famous people named Junior out there. In fact, I could probably name quite a few and still leave some off the list. I mean, I can think of plenty of entertainers named Junior. Baseball players like Cal Ripken, Ken Griffey. The younger Ken Griffey was elected to the Hall of Fame, and his dad never has been to date. Entertainers like Harry Connick and Alan Hale, skipper from Gilligan's Island. Cuba Gooding. Sometimes the junior does better than the senior. Oh, and sometimes the junior drops that title. I know my dad did. I mean, I never knew my grandpa. He died when I was an infant. My dad didn't like to use the term junior, so he just stopped doing it. One time I saw an envelope that was a letter addressed to him, and it said Junior LaRue. It's like, yeah, I don't think I would want to be called Junior either. Because you're always living in the shadow of somebody else. That's why he didn't name any of us the third. I know that was why. We weren't rich enough to be known as the third anyway. That's a rich family name. Either that or you have to be famous as well, like Hank Williams. They're on the third with him now. Well, I have an office job downtown, not far from here. That joke pretty much writes itself on some of the things that people have to deal with on a regular basis. I have a pretty cool boss now. That wasn't always the case. The boss I had before was a micromanager. But it took me a while, I guess, before I finally found some good material on my boss because, well, I usually don't want to make jokes about people that I like. But he ended up telling me that he's vegan. Nothing wrong with that, but he said he's actually gained weight since he became vegan. All right, I thought people usually went on diets in order to lose weight. Call me crazy there. Yeah, there's other weird people that I know there, like a senior leader. I did let it slip one time that I did a joke about him, but I couldn't ignore the material. He was laying on top of file cabinets by one of the copiers, and it unnerved me. I think that would have made anybody do a double take at first. It's like, hey man, what are you doing here? And then there's another senior leader that was telling me to look up the comedy of Stephen Wright, and he said, why haven't you done that yet? Because I don't think they would let me do it at the office, just go on the internet when I should be working. Get permission from somebody else, and he never did. It's like, all right, do whatever you want. I did it on my own. I followed on YouTube at home. I knew it was more acceptable there. Just like my college mate one time, I was telling him about how I can't access my Hotmail account at work. And he's an IT guy. He was a physics major in college when I was a grad student. And he said, you know, Lyle, there are ways around that, the way they block access to sites. And I said, there probably is, but I want to keep my job. Who doesn't? Sometimes you got to take the lesser of two evils there. Some things can wait. That's why people don't have my office phone number except for my car's mechanic. I don't want people to bother me at work. You can probably wait until I have my cell phone on at the end of the day. Well, yes, I'm over 35 and I look like this. I internet date and no, it hasn't worked well. I've been doing stand-up 7 years and counting. I joined eHarmony shortly after I started doing stand-up. And I've gotten a lot more from stand-up than eHarmony. I was in a relationship for over 2 years during that middle time of over 7, but I got to the point where I said I've had enough. It wasn't working out, too many differences, religious-wise, economic background-wise, that it made it hard to continue. I'm still trying with internet dating. I'm not sure why. I am hopeful that this latest match will work out, although I have already said that I understand her line of work, maybe for the wrong reason. She's an RN, and it's been hard for us to meet up so far when she works overnight, different schedules. And I said, well, I understand the profession because my mom's a nurse's aide, but I don't talk much to my mom anymore because she's a stubborn, bitter, abusive hypocrite. So it's almost like, well, I've heard people do that before, where they end up with people that remind them a lot of parents, and it's like, oh no, am I doing that? In some ways I've done that in terms of following my dad's footsteps. He always said, don't follow me in my footsteps in the Maytag plant because you got laid off. Sorry, Dad, I found other ways to do it. I joined the National Writers Union. They're affiliated with the UAW, that's your union. So we get the same magazine now, Solidarity. Yes, we do, Dad. I followed him in other ways as well, where he didn't realize how much I was paying attention. I mean, I love baseball and history because he took me to games when I was young, into museums, and I was anything but bored. The Herbert Hoover Presidential Museum in West Branch, Iowa. Been there 5 times in my life, and the first 2 he took me there. I think I also learned to swear from that. He said, I didn't teach you how to talk like that. Wrong, I was paying attention. I picked up a lot of those things from him too. I know I have a lot of dad in me. He's old school, but well, there are worse things than being a little old school. He's still more accepting of what I do in life, so who could ask for much more? Oh, that's right, the Coworkers. I've probably got more stories about them. Yes, I do. I work with a poli-sci guy, master's degree. He knows foreign relations well, and we pretty much have the same job. And sometimes it's a struggle as to who's smarter, although I'm not that competitive, so I don't know why we argue about some of those things. But I have a bachelor's in history. There's a lot of overlap here. And I know that sometimes we'll try really hard to be funny. Like there was one time he got called into HR office because with fire drill he said that he was going to drop a bomb and then shoot people. It's like, do you really think that you would get away with that? There was one time I was workshopping jokes at work and I said I was running naked in the file room. I ended up talking to my boss's boss too, and I said, it was a joke. How did I get away with that? I mean, we've got TV monitors everywhere and that door opens all the time during my work day. So I learned a valuable lesson about it. Don't workshop those types of jokes there. Some people might take it seriously, or they have a bone to pick with me, don't like me, and just want to turn me in. That's why there are some departments I won't work at there, because I have personality conflicts with those people. I was trying to find my work spouse for a staff meeting we had last week, and there was somebody I didn't like that said, you're leaving the meeting early. I'm trying to find my work spouse. She said, I'm just giving you shit. Well, I wanted to turn her in because she was swearing when we were told not to swear at the office, and we haven't gotten along for a while anyway because she's nitpicky in the main break room. I mean, why? I clean up more messes than I create. She wants to be nitpicky about how I didn't clean out the sink enough. I don't leave that much behind. I mean, with some people, nothing is ever good enough, so I quit trying with her. I even said, I've got nothing more to say to you. So I guess she must have that selective memory where she's trying to be buddy-buddy again. It's like, no, that don't work for me. first impression is usually the lasting one and the correct one, I found out with people. That's why my former boss and mentor said you never get a second chance to make that first impression. Lost out on a lot of opportunities I learned the hard way. And that's why in the past year my favorite sayings have became I've had enough and thanks for the warning. I started taking charge and being more assertive with people. You've got to be. I don't know why I have to keep learning that at my age, but sometimes you have to. We all have our Achilles heels. I want to give people a chance. It's not necessarily funny, it just is. I went to figure skating over the weekend. That's happening right now at the X, the National Championships. I don't know if anything was funny there other than some of the things I learned. You can buy fake flowers there and throw them on the ice. I guess because they don't leave behind the same debris as real flowers do. I haven't been to figure skating much, so I guess I was going to learn something. And then they had young ladies out there interested with getting those things off the ice when people throw them there. And at first I didn't understand why they were being wrapped up in fleece blankets, but they were very close to the ice, and I was just a few rows from the ice as well. Eventually, even I had to put my winter coat back on there. I usually don't sit that close at a hockey game, so no, it didn't occur to me how cold it could be. Trying to think of what else I did. Oh, I did have a date over the weekend, but I don't think I want to see her again. She proved to be flaky to me before we met. She waited not once but twice. Well, no, not once but twice on text messages. She waited 2 days to respond to them. I was beginning to think she wasn't interested. Then we finally meet and I have to re-answer questions twice. You don't drink at all? I don't drink at midday. That's what we were doing. We were having lunch. I drink in the evening. And then I said, I can't meet you on Friday because I'm going to the Gopher hockey game. You were at home watching the game? No. Do you think I would say, can't meet you on Friday if I was just at home watching TV? I can do that all the time. I can do it at the bars. And then she had to ask me again what event I was at. It's like, yeah, you should pay attention. I know that people start questioning when I have to asking the same thing. Let's see, family, job, internet dating, traveling. Well, I don't do much traveling this time of year. I guess that'll do it for me. Thank you, you've all been great.